The acclaimed and internationally renowned actor Christopher Plummer and his lovely wife Elaine lived off Wampum Hill Road in Weston for many years until he passed away on February 5th, 2021. He was 91 years old. Perhaps best known for his role in The Sound of Music as Captain Von Trapp opposite Julie Andrews, a role he once derided as, quote, so awful and sentimental and gooey, close quote. Christopher Plummer had an extraordinary 7-decade career in film, stage, and television. He is one of only 24 men and women who have won an Academy Award, Emmy, and Tony, the Triple Crown of acting. It is a select list riven with the highest talents: Ingrid Bergman, Helen Mirren, Rita Moreno, and Al Pacino among them. While the patriarch of a noble Austrian family in The Sound of Music may have been a stretch for most, it was as easy as putting on an old comfortable sweater for Christopher Plummer. Born in Toronto in 1929, Christopher was the only child of a privileged and prosperous family. His father sold stocks, while his mother, Isabella Abbott, was the granddaughter of the third Prime Minister of Canada, Sir John Abbott, who also served as the president of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Yes, it was a life of rare privilege, but it was not without disappointments, particularly when his parents divorced when Christopher was only a toddler and he moved to his mother's estate in Senneville, Quebec, a wealthy enclave and suburb of Montreal, where he also learned to speak French fluently. While attending the High School of Montreal, Christopher was smitten with acting when he saw Sir Laurence Olivier's stunning turn in the film adaptation of Shakespeare's Henry V. Christopher gave up an opportunity to study at McGill University. Instead, he began an apprenticeship with the Montreal Repertory Company and embarked on an acting career, honing his skills on stage until the bright lights of Broadway beckoned. On Broadway, Christopher had great success, and he also participated in the American Shakespeare Festival in Stratford, Connecticut, starring as Mark Antony in Julius Caesar and Ferdinand in The Tempest. This led to more acclaim until he moved to London in 1961 to join the prestigious Royal Shakespeare Company and the National Theatre. He stayed in London for the next 15 years. As his acting chops flexed, several film roles came along, but Christopher's breakout was The Sound of Music in 1965. For a serious actor and student of the immortal bard, Christopher struggled with the pedestrian dialogue of The Sound of Music, hence his disdain and less than complimentary remarks. Over the years, his view softened. Quote, I'm grateful to the film in many ways because it was such a success. It is not my favorite film, of course, because I do think it borders on mawkishness. But we did our damn best not to make it too mawkish. And the director, Robert Wise, kept a very tight control on it, which was difficult enough. And the sound and the music is quite wonderful. But I've made my peace with it. It annoyed the hell out of me at first. I thought, don't these people ever see another movie? It doesn't even have to be my movie. I just wanted to take them to some movies they ought to see. But I'm grateful to the film and to Julie Andrews, who's remained a terrific friend. I must have been miserable to work with at the time because I was furious they wouldn't let me sing. I'd worked on singing for so long, but in those days, they'd have someone trained who would sing through dubbing. I said the only reason I did this bloody thing was so that I could do a musical on stage on film, close quote. Notwithstanding his critical appraisal and grousing, the movie and his role as the captain is iconic, and The Sound of Music is one of the highest earning films in film history. There have been many other famous actors, artists, authors, and musicians who have called Weston home. Betty Davis, Eartha Kitt, Robert Redford, Keith Richards, among them. Christopher Plummer lived here for more than 40 years, drawn initially for its proximity to New York City. the theatrical productions of the Westport Country Playhouse, and the rolling countryside, which was reminiscent of his time in the English hills. Christopher eventually served on the Playhouse Board of Trustees for many years, and he was instrumental in its 2005 renovation. Aaron and I met Christopher only once. We went to see Richard Dreyfuss and Jill Clayburgh perform at the Playhouse in Arthur Miller's play All My Sons. At the intermission, we spied Christopher enjoying a beverage. His hair was coiffed perfectly, his grooming faultless, and he was wearing a double-breasted blue blazer with a stiffly starched white shirt and an ascot, disproving the adage that only Fred Astaire and Cary Grant can wear an ascot. That exclusive sartorial group now includes Christopher Plummer. He had the manner and mien of an aristocrat or nobleman, which was no mere affectation or act. This was precisely who he was. We said hello and thanked him for all his wonderful work, mindful to refrain from alluding to anything related to the sound of music. He smiled and nodded beneficently, more mischievous Cheshire cat than the gloriously mad King Lear. A movie star, a theater star, and a legend, Christopher Plummer's diction and delivery was flawless, whether he plumbed the depths and despair of Hamlet or Macbeth, or narrated in his dulcet tones the perilous adventures of our children's favorite cartoon, Madeline. Since his passing, the streetlights seem dimmer, the sidewalks seem emptier, and the movie theaters ring hollow, even though Weston has no streetlights, sidewalks, or movie theaters. No matter, Christopher Plummer's art, international renown, and performances cascade ever forward and wash over us all, especially in the leafy hamlet of Weston, Connecticut, a town that he loved and lived in so well. Thank you, Christopher Plummer, for your enduring art and peerless excellence. We wish peace and blessings for your family and friends. As he so loved the simplicity of Shakespeare, a quote from Hamlet as the Prince of Denmark lay dying seems appropriate and prescient. The rest is silence.